Yeah, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming out for week 3, the winter seminar series presented by the Impact Golf Group. I'm Scott McDonald. With me tonight is Eric Childs and John Riegstad up there in the corner. Luke Benoit and Brent Snyder, also of Impact Group. They're not on tonight. They're in the audience watching, so no pressure on us tonight. But yeah, we're going to talk about the long game tonight. The golf swing. Johnny and Eric are two of the best in the section. We've got a lot of great teachers in the section, and these two are two of the best. I teach a little bit, but I would say my level of knowledge of the golf swing is probably that of a high schooler. So I feel like I'm going to learn just as much as you guys are. So we're looking forward to, providing you guys with some good information. And Johnny, you ready to go? Jump right into it?
I am. Thanks, Scotty. Always kind words. And yeah, exciting time of year for us teachers. So just got to watch a fun golf tournament on TV. Got to see Brooks Koepka make a pitch shot to basically win the waste management tournament down there in Phoenix. Past few weeks have been Hawaii and San Diego. Now Phoenix, we're getting that itch. And though it's frigidly cold outside right now, we're super excited about the season. Everybody's getting ready, and before we know it, the season will be upon us. So long game is our topic. We're talking kind of outlook, golf swing a little bit. Here's kind of the bullet points you see in front of you and what we're going to start with. So finding a coach, reaching your potential, and things that you, the student, can understand. So another piece we're going to add tonight, which is kind of exciting for us, is we're going to ask if any of you have your swings on video handy. Send them over to Eric at chileseric@hotmail.com. He's going to take a look at them while we're presenting. And at the end of our presentation, he's going to analyze a couple. So I'm going to give you a second, but it's at the bottom of the screen right now. chileseric@hotmail.com. Take a picture, write that down. And if you have some pictures, preferably taken from behind you, send them over to
down
Eric.
the line.
Down the line videos, but send them over to Eric. And we're excited to kind of do that at the end today and see what Mr. Childs comes up with.
I might have to send my swing in and have Chili look at it and give me some help.
Right? Yeah, so we'll take a couple more seconds here to write that
Free
down
advice.
and send them over. All right. So we're going to move on. Take that down, and here we go. All right. Finding a coach. That's kind of our first big bullet point tonight. And these questions go along with it. So how do you learn? The golfer who I'm talking to. How do you choose a coach? And is this process unique to you, the golfer or the student? And so what we're after is we really want our students or our kids to find the right fit. And parents out there, we want you to entrust us in this process, all right, with your child or, whatever age group you have. It's important to get the right fit. And speaking of, and Scotty, you might be down this road too, but my oldest is 6. And though she's not competing or doing anything serious yet, I'm taking note of this presentation and what my colleagues have to say too, because at that age, we're kind of getting a look at what the future might look like for our young ones. So
yeah, I think you're always kind of taking notes, right, Johnny, as a parent, what to do, what not to do. There's really no secret formula. But yeah, I think we touched on it, I think week 1. When you're young, it's all about having fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, the right coach can be super helpful in that. And hey, that's what we're excited about, to talk to you and tell you about what we do. So yeah, jump into it here. So what I want to start with and what I want you to know is I kind of want you to know what your learning style is. Okay. That just helps our process and helps you understand what we're doing and how to learn from us and with us. So we'll also know as you go. We'll figure that out. And I'm guessing a lot of you parents out there already know your children's learning style. So we'll start with visual. That's just the learner that wants to see it, right? Like, so my clients will ask me to give them a demo. So I'll hop on the tee and I'll start making the swing and showing them, hey, we're trying to get this ball to draw. Here's the draw swing. This was the slice swing. Watch the ball flight, watch the divot. And that learner is really just visually focusing on all that stuff and taking in all that info. So that's our visual learner. Our kinesthetic/tactile. I'm going to show you this video right here of Eric. And then we'll chat about it for a second. So
thing of beauty right here.
Right. This is the Chili Whacker. This is Eric's invention, training aid. So this falls right under this kinesthetic tactile, like get in the positions. If you're swinging and you can kind of see those two yellow barriers there, if you hit one of them, it's basically giving you that feedback that, hey, you're doing something a little wrong. Let's try not to hit it. And so that kinesthetic learner wants to like stop in the position, feel you hit that barrier, that noodle there. He wants to feel that, he or she wants to feel that club going in between those barriers and just really digging in and feeling those things. And lastly, the verbal learner and the auditory. The auditory hears, right? So I'm guessing most of you know what it feels like, and you can hear when that club face hits the center, or excuse me, the ball hits the center of the club face versus the toe or the heel. You're going to hear that. You're going to experience it. You're also going to hear your swing, especially with the driver. You'll hear Bryson lately when he's swinging really fast. You'll hear that driver whipping, right? So we're looking for those cues to learn. And then verbally to go along with that, some of my clients like to read books, right? They'll say, hey, have you read, the Little Red Book by Harvey Penick? And does this apply to me? So that's that verbal learner. And we want you to know who you are. And we're here to help you figure that out. So that's one step. Scotty, what do you got? You know what learner you are?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I always thought that if I saw a swing that I could do that or feel it, but I'm down in Florida right now with Brent and Luke, and no two better teachers other than you two telling me what to do. And the way I learn the best when I'm working on things is honestly somebody telling me like, hey, feel like that back hip pocket is just going backwards and that weight is on your front foot into that left heel. So I need to verbalize it, and that's how I process it. And I don't know, what percentage do you think people fall into? Is it, what do you guys see on a lesson tee?
Yeah, Eric, what do you see?
It's funny. I think a lot of it has to do with age. I almost think when people are young, say I got a 5 to 12-year-old kid, they're almost always kind of visual. They don't like a lot of information. They're just like, hey, coach, hit a couple, and they have this amazing ability to copy what they see. And as you get older, you kind of lose that ability to see and copy. So if I get somebody who's 40 years old, I'm not going to hit any golf balls and hope that they can magically copy that. And so I guess it's kind of depends on the age. Sometimes male versus female matters. I think some of the boys are more visual, but you guys might even ask Luke about that. He's probably done studies on this stuff.
Right. So I did ask Luke, and Luke gave me, there's no strong evidence that one or the other has more success or not. But, as coaches, we're going to figure that out with you, and we're going to help you in this learning process. And we're going to make it a lot easier by kind of figuring that kind of stuff out. And it's important as a coach to know that, because it's going to help you in the process. So yeah, there's Eric swinging again, and we'll kind of head to the next one. So we're at now know your coach, right? So it gets important to talk about personalities here. So just speaking of the group here, you have Eric, Scotty, Luke, and Brent, and me. So there's a lot of fundamentals we stand on that are very similar, but our personalities are different, right? And we know our clients' personalities are different. So we want you to find a match, right? So don't don't worry if you find a teacher and he or she doesn't fit you. There's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of teachers in Minnesota that are teaching, and there's a lot of different personalities, but the more you can find that fit, easier this thing goes. And next, specializations, kind of, what are people teaching? Eric has basically chili whacker school where he shows his clients to how to kind of use that chili whacker to help them. We have certain junior programs at Keller we run. I run a boys and girls golf academy. We definitely specialize in certain areas, and we all probably hit all the areas as well. But then training and education. So all 5 of us are PGA certified professionals, and we all have an amount of education. So we've all kind of taught and next to and learned from the best teachers in the country. And like, for example, one education or specialization, Luke and I, Benoit, are both TPI certified. So figure that stuff out. A lot of times it's on the webpage. Go to Impact Golf at our webpage and it lists a lot of things, or our personal pages. And lastly, experience on this page. So, who's teaching who? Are we teaching juniors? Are we teaching adults, beginners, high-end players? There's a lot of different lessons out there, and the experience we have is a big deal. We're all, 40 plus. I'm not quite 40 yet, but we're close.
Either am I.
Or Scott, but we're all close to that age, and we've all have a lot of lessons under our belt, and it matters on our experience level and exactly what we're teaching. So yeah, we'll hop to the next one here.
Johnny, I
Yeah.
think along with that, obviously all 5 of us play competitive golf. So
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. Just the golf swing's important, but you talk about experience. There's a lot of experience that you can share, especially just being in the trenches, tournament style too. Just learning from those experiences and not getting down if you have one bad day out there, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the kind of experience that, you get over the years, that's the kind of stuff we love to share with our clients, with our kids, our adults. And actually a good moment, Luke, or excuse me, Scotty or Eric, do you guys have I wanted one of you to share like your first experience as basically a student, not as a teacher, but as a student, and what that was like as you were kind of finding a coach.
Ooh, yeah, I got a good one. You
Go
ready?
for it, Chili. Yeah.
All right. So I decided I played in a junior college national tournament, and I shot like 73 for my practice rounds, and I shot 98, 99 in the tournament. And I was resigned right there. I'm like, I'm going to figure out how the golf swing works so that I never choke like this. And I think I told this before. So that next year I went to Ferris State in Michigan, and I took an internship with the sole purpose of working for a really good player. So I moved down to Miami Beach, and I worked for a guy named Artie McNichol, who played the tour for like 11 years. And when I went down there, I was shooting 73s and 4s, Division II college golfer. And Artie said, hey, man, I'll help you. Let's go see your action. So I hit some balls for him, and he said, hey, do you lift and scoop the ball? And I was like, well, yeah. And I'd never had a lesson. And I'm going to clean it up. But he said, well, that's why you're terrible. And I was like, what? And he goes, that's why you don't hit it very far. Do you want to learn how to hit it right? And I was like, well, that's why I'm here. So he taught me, it's always super shallow and stuck. He taught me all we knew then, we didn't have high-speed video, TrackMan, all this stuff, was that I had to swing steeper over the top and hit these wicked pull hooks. So I had to hit 1,000 pull hooks a day for 2 weeks. For my second lesson, he came out and he watched me hit one ball, and it went left, and I'm a lefty, so I open faced it. And he goes, 2 more weeks. So 28,000 balls later, he came out and he goes, hit it as hard as you can. And I hit it straight. And he said, well, good luck breaking 90, because all my clubs went like 30 yards farther. And I went from Division II college golfer, about a 1 or 2 handicap, to not breaking 90 for a year. So I had to relearn how to play. And it took another year to get in the 80s, and then year 3 I could get in the 60s. But what you guys and I can do with all the technology that we have is, if that were to happen to me today with technology, I could probably have whipped that in 3 to 4 months instead of 3 years. So that's a crazy story. When I have somebody whining about not getting better in 2 weeks, I'm like, yeah, sorry. But anyway, so I'll pass it back to you guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So when I came up, played a lot of hockey, baseball, tennis, and fell in love with the sport, started playing and just got to the point where I had the good shots, but the misses I couldn't fix. And my parents weren't golf people, so I had to have some questions answered. And hey, that's what an instructor did for me. So there comes a time, I think in most juniors' career, where they need to learn a little bit. And yeah, that's picking the coach. And the transition, this is kind of a slide that's important to me, the next few, but your unique process. So hey, we want to join you on this journey. It's totally yours, right? We're here to mold you and help you. And sure, we're going to have you change a few things, but this is your journey. It's your swing, your goals, your learning style. And we just would feel grateful to join the journey with you. But this is about you, and we're here to make you a better golfer. And that's what's exciting, I think, and drives a lot of us, is just to share in this process with you and just let this be your process. We'll jump ahead here. The next one.
Hey, Johnny,
Yeah.
Johnny, I put over in the chat, since we got no questions, anybody,
Yeah.
if everybody wants to put what age they had their first lesson, I think that'd be kind of cool to see what everybody's age was. I kind of had a co-ed or a co-rec lesson when I was 6, and then never had a formal lesson again until I was about 22. So that was me, but I got to imagine everybody else has had a lesson before they were 22.
Yeah. I think we all hit that point, right? When we just say, hey, we don't know what we don't know, and we're not trained there, and parents figure it out. And, the player realizes they need a little help, and we're here to do that. And hopefully in short order, right? Like Eric was talking, it's not going to take too long, but it definitely takes a little work now and again. So this is kind of like, we're at reaching your potential, right? And this is the really fun part for me. And when I get to talk about the environment that we kind of build. So I'm going to run along a specific program that I have at Keller, and actually at my indoor facility in the winter too. But so under this heading of an environment, so we have a boys and girls golf academy, middle school to high school, and it runs during the summer. So the first week is going to fall under this skills assessment, right? We're going to have our private lesson. The sophomore who is playing well, winning tournaments, he's a little bit different than the 7th grader who is quickly improving, but newer to the game and trying to get better. So right away, you want to know where you're at, right? And we need to do that as teachers. And so after that first week, we're going to jump into our practice group. So under this structured practice. So we get 3 to 4 kids that come for an hour and a half once a week, and we're doing group practice, right? So we're practicing short game, putting, wedges, drivers. Luke talked about a couple of weeks ago, not hitting 150 balls with your 7-iron, right? So we're not going to do that. We're going to have structured practice. You're going to get better. It's clearly proven out that works a lot better than that same old hit 100 drivers kind of day. And competition, next one. So back to the group, we go once a week on the course, play 18 holes. Sometimes we're playing 2-man scrambles against people in our group. Sometimes we're playing 4-woman scrambles in our group, and we're competing against each other. And then sometimes we're playing our own ball. So we're getting that healthy taste of competition within the group. And my favorite thing that comes of all of this is just that team mentality, right? So we basically, I think Brent mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, but having that hype person or those people on your team that are just cheering for you. My kids and young adults in the program, like, we're there together. They know I'm on their team. They know we're going to have fun. They know I'm going to take the time. They can text, they can send me swings. Like, I want everybody walking away like they're part of a team, and they got a group around them that are going to help them basically succeed. So you guys have any programs like that you've seen over the years that kind of produce a nurturing environment that helps kids really grow? Scotty or Eric?
Go ahead, Shelley.
Well, I mean, you know, what we do is we have 3 different versions we have our little kids, and then once they get a little better,
Yeah.
then they get to some of our assistant instructors, and then when they get good, I get them. But one of the guys who's running an amazing program, and I think Scotty knows, well, we all know him, is Reiners over at Lakeville South, is running like from young kids all the way through, and they all help each other. And it's just cool to watch what they got going over there.
Yeah, it's we talked about it, you know, at Minnewaska where I used to be. It's just success breeds success, and what Kirk's done at Lakeville South, it's amazing. They've had great teams now for feels like forever, and it's just the same kids that those kids help out with junior golf, and they're role models for young golfers.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important as a kid, you know, is to find that role model. If it's a PGA professional, if your parents play, if it's an older sibling, you can learn so much more, not just from your instructor, but everybody else who you surround yourself with. It might be a coach too. So, Johnny, there was a question that popped up. What do you think's like the right age for somebody to get a lesson or to get a coach? Is there a perfect age?
Yeah, no, I mean, not necessarily. So I'll have, like the other day, I had one of my clients who's a father, and he brought in, I think his son was 6. And at that point in time, I'm really kind of giving dad a couple pointers and just kind of how to help. I'm looking for a really good experience for that player. Now, you catch a few at that age who are very good, competitive, but we're really just trying to build at that age. And then like our junior programs at Keller start at 7 years old, and that's kind of the bigger junior programs, maybe like what Eric was talking about. And they basically will start then, but just as you get older, you know, different age groups change, but just having the experience as a young kid. So when it starts to early, I'd just say, yeah, it's good to meet with the teacher and kind of talk parents through what that process looks like. So, yeah. Any more? Should we go next into the improvement
No more
here?
questions right now. But yeah, a lot
Okay.
of looks like ages 10, 12, 13, 6, 7. I mean, it's just like what you talked about. It's all over the map. You know, some started really young and some started a little bit later. I think everybody's different.
Right. And that is one thing about finding a coach that's really good. Like, you find the right coach and they can guide you through that. Right. And even back to the environment, we're not just trying to put you on the driving range every time you come for an hour and bang balls. We're really just trying to provide the right environment for students and families and people who love the game. So yeah, let your pro kind of help you through that. And yeah, and then jumping over to the improvement side, drills is huge in our game. We hear it all the time. Do this, do that. You know, what does that mean? Why does it help? How does it help? And specifically, I want to get into internal and external, right? So internal is what's in your mind, kind of your theory, your thought. Hey, I know what an inside swing path is. I know what a slice is. And compare that to external, something like the chili whacker, where like if you swing over the top and you hit a barrier, like Eric's chili whacker, you're going to know it. So it's very clear in my teaching, and I think most research says those external cues that make your brain react are really important. Like, so it is important to understand internally what's going on, but to the best, you know, get the best of your ability, get and drills that are external, that you get immediate feedback from, and that's the quickest way I believe, to kind of get you going. And training aids are awesome. I just always heard this, and I've been to a couple of tour events, but when you walk on a tour event on a driving range, you'll see guys and men and women using all kinds of training aids just to get better because they know it works. When you walk on a driving range, you almost can see nobody. Hopefully my students are using them, but you just don't see a lot of it on your average driving range. And training aids work, especially if you get the right one. And if your coach can help you with that, that really helps the process along quickly. So yeah.
You know, when I go to the driving range in Chile, you guys are both at very busy places with busy driving ranges.
Yeah.
I see people usually hitting golf balls faster than you can even think. They get through, one of those baskets of 50, 60 balls should last you probably 45 minutes. These guys are done with them in 15 minutes. Do they even learn anything?
They're exercising.
Yeah, good question.
It's speed training, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you put all 5 of us on here, we'd all have the same answer. It's just, what are you going to get out of that time? Hey, if you need to just go smash some balls and de-stress a little, that's fine. But if you want to learn, that's something that you and your coach should be setting up. Like, get some training aids, get some value out of your practice, and it really helps. So one of the other big bullet points of this
Johnny,
presentation.
Quick question. Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
go ahead.
Since we're on training aids, do you have a favorite training aid? I think I know what Chili's is.
Yeah. So the Chili Whacker, the inventor here, that's a great one, right?
Yes.
For kind of wrist positions, there's the hanger, which is really effective for people who have, the maybe the wrist that's bowed too much, or most people are guilty of kind of having that open face and bad wrist positions. There's all kinds of them. And here's the deal about getting the right coach. Like, if you just buy a training aid and you like the look of it and it really isn't helping, it's not going to do much. So if you have a coach, it's easy. I have all the time, probably most of the time when I'm done with the lesson, they're leaving with either drills and training aids or something to kind of get them going. So yeah, I have a lot of them, and there's a bunch of good ones. It really just matters on who's swinging and what they need. So
yep.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the part that's going to get kind of fun. Over at Chaska Town Course, you see Eric there. I'm going to send it over to him. He's going to talk about, this is part about like what our students can do. You see performance knowledge. We're kind of talking ball flights, club face, club path. Now we're going to get pretty specific to the swing and what its results are, being the ball flights. It's something that you don't need to be an expert in, but if you understand, hey coach, I'm hitting the slice, or hey coach, I'm hitting a hook, just if you can let us know that and we can share that in the process, then that's a big deal. So I'm gonna send it over to Eric, and he's gonna hop in and show you a little bit of a demo with his Chili Whacker.
Hang on a second here. Let me get this thing right. Can everybody
That looks
see that?
pretty good. That looks pretty good, Chili.
Does that look good?
Yep.
All right. Is it all mine right now?
Yep.
Hey, the first thing I will tell you this for any parents or you kids out there, I have a training aid, and of course I'm biased, but the best training aid for any golfer is the golf ball. And that golf ball is never going to lie to you. It's going to go where your face and your path tell it to go. So if somebody says, like, I heard a great story, I think it was from Luke Benoit, and I think it was his grandpa took him out, and he had him hit it left, and he said, hit one right. And he said, all right, work your whole life to learn to hit it straight. And I can't think of a better lesson simply than that. So if everybody can see this, and one other thing too is I'm doing this, we're going to start very elementary, and we're going to get more and more complicated as we go throughout these. But right now there's going to be some people like, well, everybody knows this, and not everybody does know this. So I'm going to hit some shots, and just so you know, I might not hit these all good because I'm a left-handed golfer. So I'm going to hit right-handed, And my question to anybody out there is, if you hit a golf ball and it goes right, okay, why is that ball, and can you see it on the screen? Why is that ball going to the right? Okay. So you might say, well, the swing looks okay.
Let's have people write their answers in the chat, Chili.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it, because in my classes at the town course, I ask people, and I have a 12 question questionnaire for them, and the answers are: the ball goes where I look, the ball goes where my feet are aimed. And what a lot of people don't understand is what the most important thing, and that's what we're here to show you. Why does this ball go left? So can you all see that on the screen? Almost looks like I know what I'm doing, right? So how are the guesses, Scotty?
Yeah, so the guesses so far is we've got faces open, open face, coming over the top, hitting behind the ball, closed club, coming over the top. We got a plethora there.
All right. So the first thing, and here's what I want you to understand, is the face is the most responsible for what that ball does. So we have a little riddle that we say: face sends it, path bends it. Face starts it, path curves it. And we're not going to talk a lot about the path today. I'm going to give you some hints that if you guys say, well, I'm going to show you how to control the face better, but over time we'll add that the path does influence the face. So let me give you a little hint with this. And if you guys can look at this, I'm just going to turn this sideways. When I'm swinging, the club head is in here. Can everybody see that? So I would know if I hit this or not. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, if you're a parent or you're a pretty good golfer out there and you're listening to this, I'm going to claim and say that I'm going to show you a secret of how to use the golf club. And the first thing you need to be aware of is there is no secret in golf, okay? There is understanding where the face and path is, and then it's a whole lot of work to get really good at it. So it's not a secret, but if you can operate a club this way, this makes golf easier. So have a look at this. There are a lot of people that were told to swing straight back and straight up with the golf club. And can you all see this? It looks like a Ferris wheel. It's going straight up and down. And I don't know if you can see that face, but that face opens when you work the club straight up and down. And if the face opens, all of you that guessed open face, that is exactly why that ball went right. You guys with me there?
Yep.
Okay, so part two, if we operate the club around us, that face opens up on the way back and then slams closed. So if we do a merry-go-round, the face, it just slams closed and we're gonna get the hard left. So for every level of player that comes to my lesson tee, if they've never met me, they learn real quick. A Ferris wheel opens it and a merry-go-round closes it. And the golf swing is neither. The golf swing is actually a tilt-a-whirl, okay? So if you're
Hey,
really
Chili.
young, yes.
Tilt-a-whirls were built in Faribault, my hometown. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that. I will add that to all my classes. So if we get this club, and you can see this, right? It's a white shaft there. If this club is on the right angle, right? This is not over the top, okay? This is on the proper tilt-a-whirl. And if I do that, and this is what's hard, if I have a good grip and I get lucky, we'll see. I should be able to hit it pretty straight. How'd I do there?
Ooh,
not too bad, a little left. So if you think about the golf swing, and that's why I invented this, and we can talk about hooks and slices later, but people that slice the ball, they go up and over this way and come across, the face opens and they hit those white high slices. Better players, more efficient golf swings, get the club up and then they get it down here like Sergio or Rory. And sometimes they get so flat, they'll actually hit down there. And those guys can overhook the ball. So I just created and I'll tell anybody, I probably shouldn't tell you, but I'm not the brightest bulb in the world. I just want things simplified when it comes to teaching golf, okay? So if I can get any golfer and say, listen, just get that club between there once and twice, that will be influencing the face so that it will turn over, provided that you have a good grip, okay, and that your left wrist is proper. And we can get into flexion and extension and all that and take it to the moon. But these external cues are just nothing more than teaching people, where does the tilt-a-whirl go? And it's right here. So anybody that did guess that I went over the top, I would have hit this. If I would have gone over the top, it would have looked like this. Okay, and that didn't happen. That happens on my lesson tee all the time. So I think, I mean, you got to understand that the face is the most important part of the riddle when you play golf. The face is open, ball goes right. Face is closed, ball goes left. And I've noticed some of the videos I got some lefties on there, and I'm a lefty too. So, you know, we just invert it, right? Closed face, we know it goes right. Open face, it goes left for us lefties. But if you can understand a tilt-a-whirl and how that face is in the act of closing, and you smash and compress the ball, then the game is, you're actually doing it properly, which I didn't have a lesson until I was 20 years old. And I moved down to Miami and learned how to close the face and hit it properly. And that was a real shocker for me. So that's what the Chili Whacker does. That's really how I teach golf. And then as people get better and crave more information, I can get a lot more complicated if you want, but if I don't have to, and we can get results, you know, why would we want to make it more difficult? Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
Yeah, is that pretty good,
Great.
John? You got anything else that I missed?
That's wonderful. No, I think that's right on. And
Cool.
see, this is kind of what the whole topic here is, finding the coach, right? And this is the kind of stuff we love, right? So go find a coach. There's plenty in Minnesota. The four of us, 5 of us here, we respect each other, and we know that we're all in good hands. But it matters because there's guys like us out there that are doing this for a kind of a passion in their life, and we're figuring this stuff out. So we can help you get to a point a lot sooner, the younger you come see us, or just seeing us at all. So
yeah, can I say something?
Yeah, I'm going to take
too?
this back. Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Sure. Hey, for the parents that are out there, there's 4 of us, well, 5 of us, including Scotty, involved with this group. And I have sent some of my students to all the other instructors here. So I think a really good instructor doesn't take his students and not tell them, you know, anything or share. Like I've had students that needed more work on their pressure and their body, and sent them to Luke. And I know I've sent a guy to Reggie, who he was a lot closer to Reggie over in St. Paul. But we're the kind of guys, we work together to get people better. And like, there's enough golfers out there. Like, we're all going to be busy. So I think if an adult said, hey, my kid is playing like this, and I live in, you know, St. Cloud, who's a good teacher out there? I would be more than happy to find out. I mean, isn't Dirk is up that way?
Yep.
So, I mean, we work as a team, which is very strange. When I was young, it wasn't that way. We kept everything to our chest. And nowadays, I think you want to work as a team with people. So that's what we got going on here. So I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, I think that that's a great point, Chili. And, you know, there's so many good instructors in Minnesota. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, you got them kind of all over. You've got great ones in Fargo, Brainerd, you know, up north, down south. It's, and I mean, the cities, there's just a ton there. So, yeah, find a PGA pro. And yeah, like Chili said, if he's helped you to the extent that he can, and he knows that you can get help more from someone else, he's going to direct you there, and we're all going to do that. So it's all about getting you to reach your potential, right, Johnny?
Yeah, and that was really the catalyst for the group as well. We all respect each other, we all like each other, and that's kind of how Impact was formed. And the more we can do that in the industry, the golf business, I think, you know, the better golfers, the more we play. So we're excited about, you know, getting you, the student, better. So after watching Eric, I'm going to show you a couple of things quick. There's a quick couple examples here of some clients of mine. If we can get these to come up. And then this will be kind of one of my guys who slices. Eric was talking face, which matters here. But we'll watch the path, just kind of go from over the top there. It looks like he kind of caught one on the toe. And then as we go over here to that's an outside in slice swing on the left. And then over here on the right, through kind of some getting the body to turn a little better. My screen looks like it's struggling a little. We kind of get more of that inside path to kind of teach this player how to draw it instead of hitting that slice that he came to the practice tee with. So that's one quick example. We see slicers, we see people who hook. We do a lot of different things. So I have to excuse my videos here a little slow, but so that's one example. We'll jump to the next page here.
A couple questions. So 2 questions. Do you know of any good coaches in Rochester, which is where I'm located, but I'm moving. So I'd love to help you, but I'm moving in May. But I think, I don't want to just, and somebody asked Northern Minnesota, I don't want to say go to this specific person. Isn't there something on like the PGA.com that you can find a coach, like see who offers lessons? Isn't there a PGA Pro Finder? I think that's on there, because if I search, Chaska, Minnesota, Chili's going to pop up. If St. Paul, Minnesota, Johnny's going to pop up. So I think that'd be a good resource to go to. Don't you guys think?
Yeah. I know that you can look on our section
PGA.coach.
website. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anybody has a question too, they can, if they have my email, I'd love to answer that question, because I know a couple off my top of my head. I won't say them now, but there's good teachers everywhere.
Yeah, there
Right.
is. And there was a question earlier, somebody said, hey, I really have been looking into lessons, but they're kind of expensive. I mean, you guys are, and I think everybody's kind of flexible. If somebody's got issues with money, and, you guys are going to be flexible with it, right?
Yeah, that's actually part of why we have this group. As a kid, and I don't want to hog the whole conversation here, but when I was young, the reason I didn't take lessons was because I didn't have any money like that. I was the kid that shoveled the neighbor's driveway and mowed lawns for money, and I wanted to spend my money on candy and not golf lessons when I was 8 and 10 and 12. But I remember when I was about 15, my dad said, do you want to take a lesson? And I think it was $35 with Steve Hagenson. And I just remember going, oh, that's too much money, which $35 in 86 is probably $150 now. And if I have a kid come to me and look me in the face and say, Mr. Childs, I really want your help, and it's expensive for my family, I'll do it for nothing. I mean, I really will. I'm going to try not to do a 5-pack of lessons for nothing. But if somebody can't afford it, I don't want that to stop them from coming to me or any of us. So let that be known that, I got bills to pay and a TrackMan and all this stuff. But if some kid wants help and he can't afford it, well, that's how I was. And I want to help those kids. So.
Yeah,
Reggie,
I
what
agree.
do you think?
Absolutely. We want people to play, that's one thing from the PGA perspective, and teachers, the more people playing, right, the better the game. So, and absolutely, we're all open to figuring that out. Give us a call. A lot of times it's just a phone call, and we're happy to take it, or an email, and we'd love to talk to you about that. So,
well, yeah, one other
Yeah.
thing too is if somebody can shoot me a down the line video of their golf swing. I mean, I actually do a lot of complimentary lessons for people that bought a Chili Whacker. So I'll get an email and they'll say, hey man, I don't think this thing is right. And I'll say, shoot a video, send it to me, and I'll find out how they're using it improperly is what happens. But if I get
Right.
some kid, like I got a kid in Tennessee I was like, hey, do you do lessons? And I was like, well, yeah. And so he sent me a swing, and I probably helped that kid 6, 7 times. I never charged him a nickel because it only took me 5 minutes, you know? So that's always an
Sure.
option too. You don't have to drive 2 hours to see somebody these days with technology.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot more options these days in that end.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll move ahead here and give you a couple quick examples. We'll get us into a full screen here. I know we were looking at the small screen. Another one of my clients who kind of came in, little long swing, and as he got it across the line there, he kind of sucked it back inside, and he was missing with pushes, hooks, and shanks. Okay, so we're going to show you, find my way out of this screen. All right. And then we're going to show you a specific move that this gentleman was making that was quite challenging to work with. As he goes here, we'll kind of get up a little bit longer. We'll just stop it here. So you'll see this client's basically spine really facing the target, really putting him in what we'd call it's going to be looking like we're going to have a steep landing here, depending on how he reacts. Being athletic, he reacts so he doesn't have that steep landing. But these are just some of the things that you can probably see as a student that, yeah, that doesn't quite look right, look athletic, and we probably need a little help with that. So, and then we'll give you a little after we did some things with the same gentleman here for a quick little before and after, and kind of got the swing to feel like we're on a bad commercial with this internet.
Maybe it's one of the Super Bowl commercials, Johnny.
I know. So we'll see this swing basically through kind of telling him how to kind of work his body and his arms and kind of correlate that into something he can understand, kind of gets a little more neutral position, doesn't struggle so much with dropping it underneath and hitting what would, for Eric, would be that lower barrier on the chili whacker, and just kind of has a more repeatable action at the end of the day. So we're going to move on here to the next slide. And we have another video. This is a great video. Let's try it just because it's funny. We'll see if the internet connection gets any better here. It's kind of one of those days when you're just hitting the ball so poorly that we kind of end up having one of these. We don't promote club throwing here, but I think we've all kind of had these frustrating days playing, so they'll come. But that's why I call a coach, right? Give us a call. We can help you with that. And then we're going to go, we're going to talk a little bit about swing shape, and we won't dive too much into this, but you got two players here, Dustin Johnson being #1 in the world, Jon Rahm 2, really battling for the top spot in the world right now. And as we watch them swing, and for those of you who know their swings, they're very visually different. Visually, they look very apart from one another, and we'll get there. All right, we'll move on, but we'll see Dustin Johnson here at the top of the backswing, and then if we know Jon Rahm, any of us out there, we'll see his golf swing about 3/4 of the length back, and clearly these two golfers are performing at the highest level possible. So without being worried about the way the internet's working, don't let swing shape and how your swing looks really dictate how you play golf. If you looked at Eric, Brent, me, Scott together, you'd see a lot of different things, but we can perform on a very high level swinging our swing. Okay, so you'll see Jon Rahm there at a very kind of a shorter swing, A lot of different things going on, but I'll move through this. We'll go on to the next slide here. And I think one of the most prolific shot shapers of our time is Bubba Watson. And this guy hits draws and fades on command, and he does it, and it's his game. Now, this isn't something that we all do, but it's something that we can do, and it fits along with kind of what Eric was talking about. So basically, we want to see you be able to skip over this one just because of the connection, but we want to see you be able to curve the ball, understand how to curve the ball, and work on your game with us, and we can show you that. So on the last slides here, do your clubs fit? I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but what I would say, I've worked for a couple of club fitters in the past. When we're playing a game where your lie, the wind, the hole location, we have all these variables. The last thing you want to be thinking about is do your clubs fit, right? So if your shaft isn't flexing, you know, when we talk about juniors at 7, 8, and 9, moving on to 10, 11, 12 years old, we're going to have some different basically changes in their equipment, and we need to catch that. And coaches we'll catch that. You start swinging faster, performing differently, we'll make sure we get you into the right clubs, okay? And kind of to the conclusion, hey, Eric, have you had any requests, any videos sent over?
It's funny, I got about a dozen golf swings, and I just picked the first one that I had. But I would like to give a shout out to, it looks like Kale. Kale, wow, don't do anything different, dude. Your swing is insane how good it is. And Isabella, wow, it's so repeatable and awesome. So what I did is I just kind of looked in here, and the first one I grabbed was Drake. And Drake, when we're talking, I'm a big face and path guy, right? And I know we're not going to talk about the ball flight laws, right? Like there's 9 ways the ball can fly, and that is really it. But the face, there's 3 faces, open, square, and closed. And then there's 3 paths. There's a cross, into, out, and straight at your target. So 3 times 3 equals 9. There's only 9 ways the ball can fly, and there's an infinite degree of that. But here's Drake, and I'm going to show you guys. This isn't a guy that so much I would look at this. Tell me if you can see this. Everybody see this right here?
Yep.
I mean, let me see if I can get it just right. Here we go. So this is a guy, if he came to me and said, hey, coach, what do you think of my action here? I would look at that shaft and where the club head is and go, wow, where he puts the club is fantastic. But do you notice the yellow lines? So if you look at his backside right here and his head, look at him move towards the ball. So he's shifting and his weight is getting toward his toes. So he's moving an amazing amount towards the ball. So he can actually trick the ball and hit a draw from kind of a steep position. So this is a guy I would actually say, hey, you ever worked with Luke Benoit, or have you ever been on force plates to see where your weight is? So when his backside comes off that yellow line that much, he's got a unbelievable golf swing, but with that much movement, it's probably hard for him to find the sweet spot repeatedly. So he's not so much a candidate for like the chili whacker, because he puts it in the middle of that, but his balance and his movement, which right now that's kind of all the rage. And Reggie too. Reggie, what do you have? You got force plate, right? Is he still there?
I don't know where he went. Tell everybody what force plates are, Chili, for people that don't know.
Okay, so force plates are they're just a scale for your left foot and for your right foot. And when you step on them, it just tells you is your weight towards your toes or towards your heels. And like you were talking earlier, I think Luke probably was telling you to get your back pocket back and get into your heel. So he was trying to get your weight shift into your heel rather than to get up on your toes, which is the same thing that we'd be telling Drake right here. Because again, athletically, this guy's awesome. And I look at his face and his path and I love it. So as a face and path and a plane teacher, I don't have a lot of changes for him to make, but I would tell him to put his backside against a wall and so stand against the wall, don't use a club, do a backswing, and then push back against the wall. And he's going to feel his sternum go down and his backside go backwards. And he would say, wow, you're making me hit on my heels. And that's what these force plates can actually show you on a screen with color. It's color coordinated. The red is where the most weight is, and the green, they're fascinating. And I actually, prior to going down to Atlanta a couple years ago to Athletic Motion Group, if you ever heard of those guys, they teach,
Yep.
I mean, they probably got a half dozen tour players, and they're really big believers in force plates. And I wasn't. So I was a plane guy, a face and path guy. And I went down there and said, hey, I've seen you change a couple of my players in a major way with these force plates. So, I'm not a know-it-all, I was like, hey, I thought I knew everything, but you guys are doing some cool stuff. So I spent 2 days with them, and Reggie and I went down there too, and to watch them teach that method, and to just where your weight is changes where that club goes. So there's lots of different ways to get people to hit the ball better, and force plates and where your weight is really, really becoming an important way. And especially with speed too, with hitting the ball, they're teaching people how to jump. And all these kids, these videos, so I've looked at about 10 of them. Every one of these kids is jumping and making speed in a way that I wish I could. So,
Yeah.
And I'll try and get to all these videos and look through and send them a little 1 minute talk. But I can tell looking at these that some of these kids already have coaches. And just so if you're a parent, I'm always very scared to say anything that contradicts what another coach says, because we all have our methods. And so I'm gonna point out, your face looks good, the path looks good, and then here's what maybe you'd want to look for. But Drake's got a great golf swing. His balance isn't as good as it needs to be, so he's probably struggling with that.
Yeah.
So sometime, Johnny, you there?
I'm back. Hey, I do have some force plates, and it's pretty wild how when people set up, I'm asking them, hey, do you feel balanced at setup? And all of a sudden their toes are lighting up, and they're 80% on their toes and they don't even know it. So that's not everybody, but it is a great tool that a couple of us in this group use, and a lot of fun to show people. Yeah. So yeah, I interrupted. Scott, were you saying something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say sometimes a training aid, all you need is a brick wall, right, Chili? Just to help you bring it, keeping that backside back instead of getting up on your toes. That's all you need.
Yeah, I have a piece of granite for people that hit slices too, that I just put right off the toe of the club by the ball. That'll keep them from hitting the hosel.
What,
all right, so
Chili, there was a question. People are wondering, how much is a chili whacker and where can they get one?
Ooh, a chili whacker is $164.99 at chiliwhacker.com. And that's chili, CHILIWACKER, not WHA. It was a problem to get that spelled correctly. But yeah, if they go to Instagram, Chili Whacker Golf on Instagram, and that'll lead you to it. You can click on it, or they can contact me if they want. If they're close, I can save them shipping and drop it off at their house.
There you go, door-to-door service.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll hit this conclusion page here and talk about one more fun thing we're gonna do. So we want to find the right coach, right? We have options. Meet them, get to know them. Make sure you want to work with the men or the women teaching, and we're happy to have you and join you on this journey. And lock down a process that's yours. And know your goals. Reach your potential, get those goals knocked out. Us teachers, that's kind of the fun we have. We create these environments that foster growth, and we get you to, reach that potential. And Luke hit on this in the first week, like hold yourself accountable, educate yourself to a degree, and make sure you hold yourself accountable. This game, the more you do it, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get better all the time if you're not doing the right things. So get a coach, the more you do it with the right direction, you will get better. And you can reach that potential and those goals. And then one thing we're going to do, it looks like we have something in the ballpark of 50 people listening. If you want to go over to impactgolfgroup.com or just take this email, it's email@impactgolfgroup.com. We're going to take 5 people. We're going to do a drawing, 5 people from tonight, and we're going to give you free swing analysis. We're basically, you email, send something to this email, put your name, and we'll find it. We'll put you in the group. We'll get you in the drawing. And if you're selected, we'll email you. You can send us over a swing and we'll get it back to you. But something that we wanted to do, just to kind of show you what we're doing and have some fun with it. So, the night's been great. Sorry about the internet connection we've had there. And we got time for a couple of questions if anybody has any.
Yeah, anybody have any golf questions, golf swing related out there? Use the Q&A. Now's your chance.
I do have a little one thing to say as a teacher. Anybody that sends a video, if you can trim that video and clip it from the start of the swing until after the finish, that would be huge, because some of these slow motion videos come, and in the summer I'm looking at somewhere about 30 to 50 of these, and if I click on it and the slow motion doesn't start for like a minute, there's times where I just click on it and go to the next one. So if you trim those videos when you send them to your pro, that's how the pros really know that you know what you're doing.
Yeah, good. So yeah, you know who we are. We were loving this series. We also have Scotty, maybe you can send a detail, but we have another PGA Pro next week. You want to talk about that for a second, Scott?
Yeah, Tim DeSormo is going to be on next week, and he's I'm not sure exactly Tim's title at Shattuck St. Mary's, but I don't know if it'd be the director of golf there. They've got a pretty big golf academy, has had some real elite players come through there. In Shattuck, actually my hometown. So Tim will provide a lot of insight as to what they do at Shattuck, and how he kind of builds essentially a tournament schedule for them. They play all across the country. So that Tim will he's been a college coach. He's got a ton of knowledge, so a lot of good information next week for sure. I don't see any questions. Good work, Johnny, Chili.
Yeah.
Fun times. I guess thanks everybody for coming out. No more questions. Go ahead, Johnny.
I'm gonna leave him with this video just because it's a lot of fun, and it wasn't working before. But basically, Bubba Watson, great shot shaper, really has a great imagination, and something that we're always trying to help our clients with and students is just having fun, hitting shots. And this is a great little video to kind of watch that. So take a look. Welcome to watch, welcome to log off, your choice. But we had a lot of fun, and these videos are a lot of fun here. Kind of see that shot tracer kind of going with this guy, left to right, right to left, having all kinds of fun with it.
Hits it any which way.
Yeah, he's got total control over face and path. As good as anybody ever.
A little straighter shot once in a while for Bubba, but you'll see him curving it. And that straight shot is a bit of a unicorn. It's not always easy to hit. You'll see golfers hit smaller curves, but the dead straight shot chili on your TrackMan is what do you get that once in a while, once a year?
I keep track of it. I've seen zero face, zero path 7 times since 2014 on a TrackMan.
Really?
That's it. Doesn't happen. It's like a hole in one.
Yeah, I'd say, Scotty, you used to move the ball around a little bit more with a little more curve. I think you're hitting it pretty straight
Wow.
now. I think
Yeah.
this group of guys, we tend to hit probably some smaller curves.
Yeah,
But-
I think that's a good point you make, Johnny. Is it important to be able to curve it like this? I mean, your go-to shot, do you want to see much movement, or the more you move it a certain way, is it tougher to control?
Yeah, I think the big curves can definitely get a little inconsistent. But Bubba Watson's made a career out of hitting massive curve balls, and you'll see Justin Thomas hit some nice curves. And yeah, it really depends on the golfer. And we really want to encourage students to do what they're good at. So yeah. But yeah, so thanks, Eric. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thanks,
Rest of
guys.
the group. Sorry for the internet issues, but we're excited. It's that time of year. Get ready for this season, and we'll be back with you soon for a couple more seminars.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
See you later.
Thank you.